Hola fellas, aquí les traigo un video completamente subtitulado al español de Ultra VEGITO. Podrás encontrar todos los links del creador de este contenido en la descripción del video. Y ahora, disfruta.
How's this for an imitation? Could your people ever achieve this? What an ugly copy. Zeus must be disgusted. So our story continues with the reveal finally of Vegito in a new form. One previously only ever seen on Gohan as Vegito enters the Beyond Beast state. His hair white now, along with fur that adorns him, and his eyes that sinister black and red. As across from him, Zeus's second fighter, King, would stand in his new transformed state, the self-proclaimed original design of the Saiyans. You're kidding me! That guy can do the same as me! There's no way. His energy, it even feels higher than mine! As quite rightly, Godkiller Gohan, watching on, the previous user of Beyond Beast, would stand trembling in shock, his eyes not quite believing what he'd be seeing. As back with Vegito, with his arms folded, he would almost seem self-aware, muttering to himself, I bet that kid is shaking in his boots right about now. He thought he was pretty special, but I guess he too has learned now. Absolutely nobody in this tournament will ever outshine me. As looking up, away from King, Vegito would continue, Gohan, can you hear me, little man? As now back on the tournament stage, in the portal in the middle, as if looking directly at the half-breed Saiyan, Vegito would continue, You really thought you were the only one who could do this? I've known about this form for a very long time. Because you forget, Gohan. Gohan also exists in my multiverse. And you should know by now. In my multiverse, I don't leave anyone behind. As now the camera would strangely begin panning towards Vegito's mouth, which would be slowly opening wider and wider before opening monstrously like he were a beast. And when we would enter his mouth, Gohan and everybody is right here, child, along with all their powers. As unbelievably, Boo's abilities would strike again, as it would seem within Vegito, every lost and forgotten fighter would still be accounted for. Bardock, Goten, Trunks, and of course Gohan, whether dead or alive, would still be providing power to Vegito. The Godkiller, clearly even out of our sights, working in secret, taking in everything that was owed to him. Let this be a warning to the rest of you clowns. Whatever you think is special about you, whatever powers you think is your trump card, just know, I'll find a way to have it too. You all lose. I am the strongest. As with a sadistic and crazed smile, the Godkiller would lay down the gauntlet for everyone, once again announcing his superiority. But talking of superior warriors, watching patiently would be a certain Omni King, twin of the Godkiller. This arrogant animal! As Omni Vegito, looking on annoyed, tensing his muscles as he would fold his arms, would grumble out, All this stolen power. How dare he even claim this as his own? Gods, angels, demons, now even mortals. I won't stand for it. I will be the one to end him. Talk all you want, Vegito, but you will never possess the power of an Omni-Devil, and I will show you what you've missed out on soon.
But curiously, with a much different reaction, God-Killer Goku would actually be smiling, impressed even, as he would comment, "Wow, now this guy really does know how to fuse. I need to learn something from him. I've done my fair share, but using these earrings every time is such a hassle. Maybe I need to find myself a boo to fuse with as well. I wonder if Hera can help." Enough with your showboating. Your meaningless forms and stolen powers mean nothing to the warriors of Zeus. You have no clue what power the Supreme Leader has imbued within us. All you appear to me as is a toddler cosplaying as one of my elite warriors. Where we're from, children are born looking like you. Well, if that's the case, come give this child a telling off. You know what they say, spare the rod and you'll spoil the child. As the God-Killer now spreading his arms out as if inviting anything in this new form would have complete confidence.
As you wish.
And not needing to be told twice, King would finish the formalities and speed straight in at Vegito finally in his new Wolvga form. And like a wolf indeed, he would come careering straight for Vegito. Like a bullet, his whole body streamlined for maximum speed.
Finally, I can see what you're really capable of.
As ever the cocky self, Vegito would remain in place, getting into a simple fighting stance with a smirk to finish things off. As it would seem, now he would see perfectly King's movements, at max speed or not.
You will be my trophy for Zeus! An ape as a trophy? I'm sure wolves are more common for that, my friend.
As just when King would lift up his clawed hands and be right in the God-Killer's face, Vegito would lift up his arms and... Immediately a barrage of punches would come firing at Vegito, pushing the Saiyan backwards, but seemingly not a single strike making its way to contact, as Vegito would parry and block everything, giggling along the way.
Stop playing around! You have no idea who I am!
But eventually King would remind him just whose creation he was, and eventually land an unsuspecting heavy blow in the Saiyan's stomach.
You're right. You're still dangerous. But just remember, you don't know who I am either.
As bleeding from his mouth, this violence would only stir Vegito on. A challenge worthy of him arriving after some time, as looking over at King, he couldn't help but bear a teeth-baring smile still.
Shut up!
I know what you are! Imposter!
But regardless of what defiant words the God-Killer would say, King would care little, continuing his assault by smashing another fist onto Vegito's cheek, immediately crashing the warrior right back into the sea below. But as bolts of lightning would emerge from the water, like Vegito himself was electrifying the pool, King would move closer inwards, placing the tips of his fingers and palm shallowly into the sea.
Even down there, you will not escape your fate!
As suddenly rushing in his energy through the sea, spikes of pure energy would begin erupting all around King until... a seismic explosion would erupt outwards in front of King, in the form of a pure column of energy. Like you were creating such destruction down there, volcanic eruptions were occurring. But as the giant mass of energy would begin calming down, no sounds of pain would be heard, but instead a faint snickering from a certain Saiyan.
You're brutal. It feels like I'm fighting Vegeta right now. Maybe you were telling the truth about our origins.
As rising out of the energy, a black silhouette of Vegito would come out without a blemish, rocks rising around him along with the beads of water. As on close-up, still smiling, not hurt in the slightest, Vegito would continue,
If you want to fight like that, like a true warrior race, then I'll give you what you want. Just a warning though, you won't like it when I show you how us imposters fight.
As with the final rock in the air inevitably now beginning to come down over his face, Vegito would just ask,
You ready? Set! Go!
As instantly, just as the rock would come into view over Vegito, he would fire off a beam of energy in a flash, taking the rock with it. The energified stone now right in front of a surprised King. But without even a movement, either too fast to see or like he had a protective force field, the rock and the energy beam would shatter before any kind of impact. But only for a fast-moving silhouette of the God-Killer to now appear mid-movement coming from behind.
This is how you Saiyans truly fight!
But it would seem these amber eyes of King would see all. Strangely though, he wouldn't be turning his sights downwards to his left, but instead looking up and right. As stunningly, now surrounding King would not be one, not two, not three, but 6 Vegito clones, all coming down at him with a range of attacks and abilities. Some with their fists, some with energy blades, and even one with a full-powered Kamehameha charged. The result being a violent explosion and crash of all different types all across the surface of the sea, as all 6 Vegitos would come together.
Where is he?
But it wouldn't take long for the group of clones to all realize they were now alone, confused and looking around. But when we would zoom out, the 6 would still remain puzzled, with just a disturbed water surface beneath them and no sign of King. That would be until one of their unsuspecting clones would have its foot grabbed by something very furry, wrapping around his ankle until...
Come with me!
As that furry appendage would then be revealed to be King's wolf tail. As shooting down now with Vegito in tow, like a submarine, he would drag the Godkiller down to the unknown depths of this dark sea.
How did he know I'm the real one?
And mumbling his words, struggling for air, Vegito at first would just wonder how he correctly identified him out of all the clones.
Let go!
But regardless, King would just continue the descent, further and further down, as Vegito would begin wondering,
where the hell is he taking me? I need air!
But ironically, even when gasping for air, Vegito's next move would actually be to blow it back out. But strangely, his breath would actually appear physically as white masses of smoke.
Go get him!
As immediately the white pockets of seemingly carbon dioxide would then shoot out straight to King's side, his left and his right.
Hello there! Mind if we take a little break? Water!
As now all things would make sense when the white puffs of smoke would formulate into two ghostly apparitions of Vegito, as the Godkiller actually unleashed Gotenks' signature Ghost Kamikaze attack.
Hold on! Get off!
As grabbing tightly onto King as he continues to descend, the two ghosts would then begin glowing brightly right next to the warrior before, in one giant explosion, King would come face to face with the original techniques of some of the newer generation of Saiyans, creating an almost garlic bulb within the sea, parting the waters all around. And like a fish out of water, on the explosion ending, Vegito would escape finally for air.
You should think wisely before taking me into deep water again, friend. Back me into a corner, and I won't be afraid to blow this whole place up to survive.
As looking down, the Godkiller would be all smiles, as down in the center of the sea, a small smoking object would paradoxically be emanating out of the water. An angered and slightly damaged King would then be seen, peeking the top of his skull out, his eyes objecting, observing his prey that continues to escape his grasp.
Fine. More power is needed. I see now. Too much time has been given to your kind to evolve. Even the imitation can come closer to the real thing if left unchecked. But that stops here.
As rising out of the water himself now, with his arms by his side and his fists clenched, a moody King, tired of this being a challenge, would emerge. And before long his teeth would grit again as he would force more power out, a flash of yellow as he would do so. Even while his torso would face the opposite. In Vegito's body, meanwhile, slowly healing back as you'd expect. When we'd look at his exasperated face, the Godkiller could only think,